Hey guys, welcome back to another Katona steering video with me, Mr. Katona. Today we're going to be looking at solving systems of equations using substitution. So just as an FYI, there are going to be two videos, this one and another one, coming out. They're both solving systems of equations. One is substitution, one is elimination. You need to know both, and then once you get to a certain level, a lot of times it's up to you to choose which one you're going to use, unless the teacher specifically asks solve with substitution or solve with elimination. With that being said, sometimes if you're allowed to choose, the situation is better for one of those methods. That's why you should know both, because it'll make it easier for you in the long run. So specifically, this video is going to cover solving systems of equations with substitution. So let's look at the step-by-step for solving systems of equations with substitution. Step one is you're going to manipulate the equation, but that's only if needed. As you see examples, it'll make more sense why I put if needed. Number two, you're going to plug one of your equations into the second equation. Then you're going to solve for that one specific variable. Once you have that variable, you're going to plug it into one of the original equations and solve for the second variable. Then lastly, you can check your answer to make sure both x and y are correct. So the reason you have to do this is, let's look at an example. Looking here, you have to solve for x and y. And I'm sure at your current level, you know you can't do that. You need one of your variables to be known. You can only work with one unknown at a time. That's why we have two equations that are related to each other. You're going to use those two equations to eliminate or substitute one of your variables so that you get one variable that you have to solve for. Once you know that variable, you plug that variable back in and you solve for the second variable. So let's just look at an example together so this makes sense. So a lot of times in substitution, you want one of your equations to be set equal to your one variable. So for instance, I'm looking at this equation. Y equals x minus 4. So y is x minus 4. That means you're going to substitute x minus 4 in for y in the first equation, the equation on top. So let's just see how this works. 3x minus x minus 4 equals 18. So notice I plugged my second equation into the first equation, the value for y into the y up top. This way I get x. That's all I have to solve for. Once I know x, I plug it back into one of the original equations and I solve for y. So what I'm going to do, just simple algebra stuff to make it easier on myself, I'm going to change this to an addition sign and change the signs in the parentheses. So I'm going to have 3x plus negative x plus 4 equals 18. Now, 3x plus negative x would leave me with 2x. So I'm going to have 2x plus 4 after I combine like terms equals 18. I'm just going to subtract both sides by 4. I'm going to have 2x equals 18 minus 4, which would be 14. Then I'm obviously going to divide both sides of the equation by 2 and get x equals 7. So now I'm going to plug 7 back in to one of my equations. Let's just choose the second. So I'm going to have, let's do this in a different color. I'm going to have y equals 7 minus 4. So y should be 3. So when I write my answer, I'm going to write it as an ordered pair, 7, 3. Then lastly, I can check my work. Let's check. So let's use the second equation to make it easier on ourselves. So I'm going to plug 3 in for y. 3 equals 7 minus 4. 3 equals 7 minus 4, which is 3. So that works out. I got the right answer because that is correct. 3 does equal 3. Now keep in mind, if I got a different answer, and let's just say I got 3 equals 2, I would know I did something wrong, and I would have to go check and do math again to make sure I did the right thing and I didn't miss a negative or I didn't miss add or whatever. So there's my answer. It's a lot, but it gets easier as you figure this out and as you get more comfortable. Now, let's look at example number 2. So again, the first thing I want to do is spot in substitution which variable is by itself. This equation just so happens to be x is by itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first plug 2y in for the top equation for x. So I'm going to have 2y plus y equals 3. 2y plus 1y is 3y. 3y equals 3. Y equals 1. Now, I'm going to plug 1 in to one of the original equations. I'm just going to do the bottom because it's easier. So now x equals 2 times 1. So x equals 2. So then my ordered pair is going to be 2, 1. Let's plug that into the top equation and check. So we're going to have 2 plus 1 equals 3. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 does equal 3. So this checks out. My answer is, in fact, 2, 1. Now, I bet you're thinking to yourself now, this is pretty easy. It is when they give you the equation. So I want to go back for a second. Remember, in step 1, I said manipulate the equation if needed. Let's go back to the third page. Fourth page, my bad. Let's go back to example number 3. That's what I meant. Look at how neither equation is set to one variable. That's where you're going to have to manipulate the equation. So what I would do is I would pick the bottom equation. I'm going to do this in yellow so we know it's not an original equation. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. It really doesn't matter which one you move. But I'm going to leave y by itself. Y equals negative x plus 1. So now I'm going to take that equation and I'm going to plug it in to the top equation. I will explain in a minute why I wrote the manipulated equation in a different color. I will explain that after we solve, or like in a couple minutes. So let's plug it in. I'm going to have x plus 3 times negative x plus 1 equals 9. So now I obviously distribute. 3 times negative x is going to be negative 3x. 1 times 3 is going to be plus 3. I'm going to have x still. And I'm still going to have 9. Now I'm going to simplify and combine like terms. X plus negative 3x is negative 2x. I subtract 3 from both sides, just so you see. Negative 2x equals 6. Then I'm going to divide by negative 2. And x equals negative 3. Right? Yeah. So x equals negative 3. Now, this is where it gets tricky. I'm going to repeat this twice. I cannot substitute my value into the equation that I manipulated. I cannot plug one value into the equation that I manipulated. You cannot do that. You will not get the right answer. You have to plug it in to one of the original equations. Same thing when you check. Plug it into the original equations. So I'm going to plug negative 3 in on the bottom equation, the original bottom equation. So I have negative 3 plus y equals 1. I'm going to add 3 to both sides because I want to get rid of negative 3. And y equals 4. Now, I'm going to write my equation or my answers in an ordered pair. And then we're going to plug it in and check. Again, plug it into one of the original equations. So I'm going to have negative 3. I'm going to plug it into the bottom equation. Negative 3 plus 4 equals 1. Oops. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I write on slants. Okay. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. 1 equals 1. And bingo. We got the right answer. Hopefully by now this is starting to make more sense, but there's a couple more examples just so you get the hang of it. Now, example number 4. Look at that. They were nice to you. They gave you one of the variables by itself. So this is going to be our saving grace. Less work for us. Let's plug 5x minus 3 into y on the bottom equation. So x plus 2 times 5x minus 3 equals 27. 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. We have x plus this equals 27. I obviously combine like terms. I get 11x minus 6 equals 27. I add 6 to both sides. I have 11x equals 27 plus 6, which is 33 if I'm not mistaken. Then we divide both sides by 11. And x equals 3. So now we'll use another color to solve for y. Let's use the top equation because it's all neat for us. Y equals 5 times 3 minus 3. So 5 times 3 is 15 minus 3. Y equals 12. Huh, that's a big number. Sometimes we all make mistakes, but let's check. This is why I even check. So right now, our answer, our ordered pair is 312. Let's plug it into the top equation. Actually, let's just plug it into the bottom, make sure we're right. So 3 plus 2 times 20 times 12. I'll just do the math in my head. 2 times 12 equals 27. 2 times 12 is 24. 24 plus 3 does in fact equal 27. So 27 equals 27. Check. So our answer is 3/12. Last problem set. Now, we were not nice. We have to manipulate the equation, so I'm going to do it in yellow. I think the easiest way to do this is just to add 2y to the other side. So I'm going to do x equals 2y plus 11. I obviously just added 2y to both sides to cancel out negative 2y, and I'm left with x by itself. So now I can plug that equation into the top equation, so I can have negative 7 times 2y plus 11 minus 2y equals negative 13. So negative 7 times 2y would be negative 14y minus 11 times negative 7 would be negative 77 minus 2y equals negative 13. I then combine like terms. Negative 14y plus negative 2y would be negative 16y. Why is my... Sorry guys, my board's freaking out. There we go. Negative 14 plus negative 2 is negative 16y. Then I'm going to add 77 to the other side. Plus 77 plus 77. We're going to have negative 13 plus 77, which would work out to be 64. Positive 64 because our sign is bigger on the positive. So now, make sure I didn't mess anything up. Negative 14 plus negative 2 is negative 16. Add 77 to both sides. Negative 13 plus 77 is 64. Then we divide by negative 16. Divide by negative 16. And y equals negative 4, if I'm not mistaken. And that is correct. So now we have negative 4 for y. Now again, we cannot plug this into the made-up equation, into the manipulated equation. We're going to plug it in to one of the original equations. Let's plug it into the bottom one. So x minus 2 times negative 4 equals 11. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8. X plus 8. I can definitely write neater than that. People tell me I have a doctor's handwriting. What do you guys think? X plus 8 equals 11. Negative because negative. Then we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. Subtract 8 from both sides. X equals 3. So now our ordered pair would look like 3, negative 4. Now let's plug that answer in as a check. Let's use green for check. Check. So we'll plug it into the bottom equation. 3 minus 2 times negative 4 equals 11. Negative 2 times negative 4 is 8, plus 3 equals 11. 11 equals 11. So our answer is, in fact, 3, negative 4. Voila. Okay, guys, hopefully this video helped you understand solving systems of equations with substitution. Now, if you liked this video, please leave a like. If this video helped you, please subscribe. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm trying to grow the channel, help as many people as I can, obviously. If there is a topic that you would like me to cover, please leave a comment below telling me what exactly you would like to cover. So if it's something in middle school, tell me like what grade and what math subject or what science subject. If it's high school, tell me what's the subject. If you're in college, I can even start making some stuff for college. Lastly, if you're in the state of New Jersey and you would like tutoring, please email the email listed in the description below and we could set something up. Also, if you don't live in New Jersey but you would like tutoring anyway, we can do online tutoring. Again, please email the email below. My prices are fair. I'm just trying to help as many struggling learners or people who want to learn more as I can. Lastly, have a great day. Stay positive. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.